Hello, I'm Lara Kochersan, and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. Kamala Harris has formally accepted the Democratic Party's nomination for president. This marks a historic moment as she becomes the first Black and South Asian woman to run for the highest office in the country.
On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth, I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America.
The Vice President has vowed to chart a new way forward for the U.S., saying that Americans have a fleeting opportunity to move past the bitterness, cynicism, and divisive battles of the past. In a 40-minute address, she also spoke about the economy, reproductive rights, security, immigration, and the wars in Ukraine and Gaza, and why she should be chosen over her Republican rival. Andy was in Chicago and filed this report.
Pro-Palestinian demonstrators continue to protest here outside the Democratic National Convention hours after Kamala Harris gave her nominating speech there. As you might imagine, social media is lighting up over her speech. Certainly there will be more negative comments in the days ahead, but at least in these hours since her speech, nothing but positive reviews. One man writing that she crushed it, noting her intellect and patriotism. Another one writing that after hearing that speech, how could anyone justify voting for the other guy? And another man simply writing that she knocked it out of the park. Now, Kamala Harris in her speech did talk about the plight of the Palestinians, did talk about the efforts to reach a ceasefire deal. Will that satisfy at all these pro-Palestinian demonstrators who have been out here by the thousands during the convention week? Well, a lot of them have so much anger over the Biden-Harris administration. They're demanding an arms embargo to Israel. It's hard to say how that speech might affect their feelings about her now, but we'll have to see as we get closer to Election Day on November 5th.
Like Andy said, Harris used the main stage to repeat earlier calls for a ceasefire and a hostages deal, pledged support for Israel's right to defend itself and the Palestinian right to self-determination. However, pro-Palestinian supporters expressed disappointment, arguing that her stance aligns too closely with Joe Biden's current policies. One group, called Uncommitted, criticized the convention for not allowing a Palestinian American to speak, while the family of an American Israeli hostage was given the stage.
It be laid bare for the American public to know that the Democratic Party, unfortunately, as of this moment, I hope I get a call telling me something different, but as of this moment, is choosing to suppress the voices of Palestinian Americans.
In a significant shift from traditional media coverage, social media influencers are playing a growing role in the U.S. elections. With over 200 digital creators granted media access to this week's Democratic National Convention, these influencers are offering a fresh perspective and engaging directly with younger voters through platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Pınar'a explores the role influencers will play.
Party conventions are typically star-studded, with politicians and celebrities endorsing candidates. But this year, a new group received press passes.
So just because we're going back to an in-person convention doesn't mean we're going back to the same old way of doing everything. This is the front row seat for content creators to cover our convention.
You see how I do my makeup for work?
This is day one of the DNC.
For the first time, the DNC credentialed influencers, a role typically reserved for the traditional press.
Well, I'm a content creator. I make videos on TikTok in Spanish for the Latino immigrant community here in the United States. I do my content in Spanish, but I talk about politics, social issues, and all that.
Carlos Eduardo Espina was one of 5 influencers who spoke at the DNC, along with Deja Fox, Nabila Noor, Olivia Juliana, and John Russell.
The #1 search engine for Gen Z is TikTok. We know so many people, especially young people, they're not necessarily watching television, they're not reading a physical newspaper. Those trusted voices that they turn to for their news and information are these folks online on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram.
So it's important to have people like us here so we can take that message directly to the audience who might not see the convention on television or on traditional news.
With more than 41 million Gen Z voters eligible to vote in November, connecting with young voters is crucial for both parties. Like the Democrats, Republicans have also embraced the power of social media, with 70 digital content creators in attendance at the Republican National Convention in July.
Creators are like a huge messenger in the news economy today. We share stories with the public just like news anchors do, and in many ways, indisputably, we reach more people.
However, the strategy is controversial, according to some in the media. Critics argue that the influencers may lack the impartiality of traditional media.
What are you most looking forward to at the convention this week?
And potentially avoid asking tough questions if they openly support Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. Some have also faced criticism for focusing more on dancing or showcasing outfits than on political substance. Despite this, social media influencers are transforming the way political events are covered, marking a new era in election media. But as the race between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump is expected to be close, the impact of this digital shift on Gen Z voters remains uncertain. Only November will reveal whether it sways the polls.
And Kamala Harris's main challenger, Donald Trump, did not miss the opportunity to respond to her. He took to Truth Social, which is a social media platform largely populated by his die-hard supporters, to have his say. During Harris's speech, which lasted less than an hour, the former president posted a total of 3,000 posts. His posts focused on key campaign issues such as inflation, border security, and Harris's policies. His quote-unquote truthing appeared to be a stream of consciousness in response to whatever Harris was saying during her acceptance speech. This next story focuses on the youngest employees in the workforce. Yes, we're talking about Gen Z, the fastest growing generation of workers. Research indicates they have a different approach to work compared to previous generations, sparking much discussion in workplaces. From their choice of sectors to their career expectations and their eagerness to learn emerging skills like AI, there's a lot to explore. Dominic takes a closer look at some of these trends.
According to findings by the Upwork Research Institute, Gen Zs are increasingly rejecting the conventional 9-to-5 job and instead have fully embraced freelancing as a career choice. More than 52% of all Gen Z professionals in the US freelanced in 2023, compared to 44% of millennials, 30% of Gen X, and 26% of baby boomers. Learning and adopting to new technologies is something close to their hearts. At least 51% of Gen Z professionals overall are adopting to generative AI. The research found that those freelancers are adopting faster than their full-time counterparts. With their high literacy levels, Upwork says 45% of Gen Z freelancers do specialized tasks like computer programming, writing, and design. They also seem modern, more diversified, and dynamic, and as such, they've embraced career options that match their personalities and are more into content creation.
Over-tourism has been a major issue in Europe in recent summers. Now, many Japanese cities are facing a similar challenge. The country is seeing a surge in tourist numbers, partly because of the weak currency yen. In July, Japan saw about 3.3 million foreign tourists, breaking the record set in June. Popular spots like Kyoto, Kamakura, and Mount Fuji are drawing large crowds. While this influx benefits the economy, local residents are worried that rising costs are making it harder for them to afford living there.
During COVID, it was very empty, so obviously there were no tourists around. It was very rare to see foreigners because it was mainly those that were still living here or working here or exchange students that came before COVID like me. So that's kind of the situation I experienced when I lived here. So basically no tourists. I did experience a little bit of tourism before COVID. So in September 2019, I traveled a little through Osaka and Kyoto and Nara and all those famous places. And it was touristy, but not what I saw now.
It's no surprise that social media has heavily influenced travel trends, providing tourists with ideas on where to go. Popular search engines have been directing many to explore Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto. Locals say platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok are to blame for the crowds in their cities. The captivating posts from visitors on these platforms have led more people than ever to use social media to plan their vacations.
When new people are recommended content about Japan, they're actually only getting shown these same videos containing these same popular keywords or topics that older viewers were getting recommended as well. And if you're pretty sharp, you might have already picked up on what the fatal flaw of the algorithm is, which is this. If the algorithm recommends the most popular keywords and topics to new people, then those brand new viewers to the topic will begin searching for the same keywords they were recommended, telling the algorithm to send more videos containing those same keywords to an even larger audience. And this perpetual cycle will keep repeating itself over and over and over again.
Being a pop star might seem like the ultimate dream, but this glamorous lifestyle has its downsides, and the dream can quickly turn into a nightmare. And that's exactly what has happened to rising US star Chappelle Roan. In just a few months, Roan has gone from performing in small venues to selling out concerts and festivals. However, her rapid rise to fame has come with its challenges. On TikTok, the platform that propelled her career, she has reported feeling harassed, with her family being stalked and bullied by fans.
I don't care that abuse and harassment, stalking, whatever, is a normal thing to do to people who are famous or a little famous, whatever. I don't care that it's normal. I don't care that this crazy type of behavior comes along with the job, the career field I've chosen. That does not make it okay. That doesn't make it normal. It doesn't mean I want it. It doesn't mean that I like it.
Roan isn't alone in her struggles. Many other celebrities have shared similar experiences, highlighting the downsides of being in the public eye. Stars like Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, and Halsey have also addressed these challenges and how they feel, either directly or through their song lyrics. They want to make their fans understand that despite their fame, they're humans too, deserving of privacy and understanding. Now back to a name that's going to be hogging the headlines in the coming weeks. The grandnieces of the Democratic presidential nominee are schooling the world on how to pronounce their aunt's name.
First you say comma like a comma in a sentence. Then you say la like la 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 la.
Put it together and it's 1, 2, 3, Kamala!
And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.